Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This is a video that I have been waiting to film with y'all. We need to start a discussion because we're going to talk about discontinued makeup that I wish brands would bring back in their line and also products that I wish brands would come out with. So without further ado, let's chat about some makeup. I know that we were told that some of these products were limited edition, so I get it, I understand it, but a lot of times brands make some of their best products limited edition and I don't understand why. My theory is that some brands try to make things limited edition to see how they're gonna do. For example, Fenty made the Gloss Bomb lip oils limited edition in their summer collection last year, and now we got a full range this year with these products. I feel like this is how some of those brands test out the water on certain products to see if they're gonna do well, rather than just automatically putting it in their full line and just saying, here you go, and it doesn't perform well. But the first one, I feel like a lot of you might agree with me on. I need Danessa to stop making these limited edition. I need her to stop. This is the Lightwork 5 palette, and this one is so beautiful. There are 7 different formulas in this palette, and if you're not familiar with the Lightwork palettes, Danessa comes out with these once a year, usually around the holiday time, but she always does these really cool experimental formula, shifty, multi-chromy, beautiful palettes. I feel like by the time these palettes start to get talked about and, you know, the hype starts to build up around these particular palettes and their color stories, they're discontinued. She just came out with number 6 last year, and I think number 6 is by far her best one. But I would love to see these come back in the Lightwork 6 palette configuration. These are very pricey, by the way. These always are like $125. So they are pricey palettes and they probably are very expensive to make, hence the price point. These palettes are great introductions to her brand, and I just hate that we get one a year. I use this palette on my own time so much, but I try not to use it in videos because you can't get this palette anymore, sadly. Overall, this was limited edition. It's 2 years old. I didn't even get to get my hands on number 4, so I wish number 4 would come back as well. So let me open this up. I feel like I need a little more sunlight in here. I feel like this next palette is definitely an OG, and I just wish that the brand would go back to their days when they did palettes like this. This is the ABHX Jackie Aina palette, and y'all, do y'all remember when this palette came out? Because I do. I remember exactly what I was doing, exactly where I was, and I love this palette so much. I feel like ABH really was that girl when it came to eyeshadow palettes and formulas and things like that, and I loved when they did influencer collabs like this one, the Carly Bible one, the Resi one. Those were ahead of their time, and I love this palette from Jackie Aina. I feel like this was my favorite palette. I don't reach for this one as much because this one is super expired, but you know, when I get the urge to play with this palette, I do. I just wish that they would bring back this palette, if like maybe do something special, like a little anniversary thing, kind of like what Urban Decay did when they brought back the Naked palette. I wish that brands would do that with all of like their best sellers. Like I would love to get my hands on the ABH and Mario palette. I never got to get my hands on that one. There's so many good palettes that I wish that I could have gotten, but this one is one of those palettes that I just will never be getting rid of. Truly an archival palette, and ABH doesn't do palettes like this anymore. They don't collab with influencers anymore. Now this brand no longer exists. These are the Suva Beauty graphic liner palettes, and these palettes are what started my obsession with graphic liners. I love me a graphic liner. I love it, and I love these palettes because they had everything in here that I needed. I love collecting these. I mean, I have 5. I have a blue one. I just don't know where it is. This is such a cool palette. I loved the cool color stories. A lot of indie brands do graphic liners. Suva Beauty was an indie brand as well, but I just love that it came in these curated palettes. One, you get a brush in here, but you also get 5 shades to go with each of the theme of the palettes. These were so cool, and I was so devastated when Suva Beauty closed their doors because a lot of brands don't really do anything graphic liner-esque. Indie brands still do, but a lot of indie brands I feel like kind of have phased out of graphic liners. But I am happy that I still have these from Suva Beauty because these, I still use them every time I do a graphic liner look, and they're just perfect. I am so mad at Patrick Ta about these. These 2 that I'm about to show you are like his best releases, and it's his holiday palettes. Why did he not make these permanent. I don't understand it. I don't get it. What started the obsession for me was this palette right here. This one, no, not this one. This is the palette that started the obsession for me with Patrick Ta blushes. This is actually my first Patrick Ta blush purchase, was when this came out. I remember that this kept selling out like crazy. This is the Major Headlines blush palette, and I feel like if he was to release this product today, it would do numbers. If he just kept with the blush palette theme and just kept doing blush palettes, it would make numbers, truly, because blush is so popular. Like, this palette was a great introduction to the blush formula for one, and also just his brand in general. But I love this one. So in this one, you got She's Baked, She's Vibrant, and She's a Doll. I also think that he discontinued She's Baked. Oh, that hurts my heart, because She's Baked was my favorite blush shade from him. My favorite. I loved it so much in this palette that I went out and purchased it in a single, and he doesn't even have She's Baked. He took it off the Sephora website, and I think it's off of his website now too. But why would he do that? I'm still mad about that. But I will say he did come out with an even better shade, which is She Knows Who She Is. I love that one. It's a lot deeper, but I still love She's Baked, and I still use it to this day. And then She's Vibrant, also really beautiful. I think he still has She's Vibrant in a single as well as She's a Doll. I have She's a Doll in the single, I think, as well. Because he discontinued this, and I was like, now why would he do that? I love this blush palette. I love it for travel. This is literally all that you need, but I just wish that he would bring this back and put it in his permanent line, because I'm telling you, these would do amazing. This one I loved. He even tested out this eyeshadow formula in here, and I don't even think we saw this eyeshadow formula come in, you know, in his line. They're very glittery and reflective. They're more like eyeshadow toppers. I don't know if his single shadows kind of replaced this formula or what, but I love this palette. You got 2 blushes in here, and then you also got 4 shadows. I love that he did this. I wish that he would bring this back as well, because this is also a great introduction for people. If you've never tried the brand, you get to try out the blush formula and one of his eyeshadow formulas. So I just wish that he would bring this back. I love the packaging of this. I love this shade. That's the shade Giving Main Character and Giving I Need Her. Now, I am still mad at Urban Decay for this, because this was my favorite concealer in my entire collection. I was so obsessed with this concealer, but because they discontinued it, I had to grow to be obsessed with another one. And this was the Urban Decay Stay Naked concealer. This was the best everyday concealer. It melted into the skin. It had a thin formula, but it still gave coverage. And they replaced this concealer with the Quickie concealer. Though I really like the Quickie concealer, the formulas are nowhere near the same. The Quickie has way more coverage. It's not as buildable of a coverage. It's a little bit thicker as well. Though I like the new concealer, that concealer is not topping the Stay Naked concealer, and I'm so mad at them. Thankfully, I brought backups of this, because hello, I could not be without this concealer, and I live for it. I'm still using this all the time on my own time. I don't use it on camera, because listen, if you see the concealer and you like it, you're not about to be mad at me because you can't get it. So I stay away from using this on camera, but this one hurt. Okay, this one really, really hurt. Now, ColourPop. The ColourPop X Kathleen Lights palettes was ahead of its time. I was so obsessed with the collab palettes with influences from ColourPop, and I wish that I had gotten into the brand way before, but unfortunately, this right here was the palette that got me into the brand. This palette is so beautiful. It really sucks that they don't collab with influencers anymore, but this was the palette that started my ColourPop obsession. I remember I was in college when this palette came out. I know exactly where I was. I was so excited for this to arrive. I was looking everywhere for that package, and this palette is beautiful. We have pressed glitters in here. We have like more jewel tones as well. I just wish that they would bring this back in, like, you know, like a little anniversary type of thing, or like a little vault collection. Listen, I'm all for a nice little vault collection of things, but this palette was really one of my favorites from ColourPop. The Dream Street palette, I don't know how I got these, okay? They must have still been on the website. This palette from Kathleen Lights, really, really beautiful. Also, I remember the Zodiac collection as well. Like, Kathleen Lights did such an amazing job with all of these collabs with ColourPop. These are true archival palettes, and I just can't see myself ever getting rid of these, but I just wish that they would do something special with Kathleen Lights, like maybe for her birthday or like on an anniversary. re-release all of her palettes. Like, I know ColourPop can do it. I would love to see that. A girl can dream, right? A girl can dream. House Labs, okay, though we still have the powder blush formula, we do not have Acai Sky, and it still baffles me to this day that House Labs would get rid of Acai Sky and not bring it back. Like, why would they do that? This is one of the best shades in the line. It's so pretty. It looks beautiful on everyone. It is the prettiest berry toned color. Like, it is so pretty. I love this one. I try to stay away from using this on camera, but I have said in previous videos that, you know, there are some shades that are very similar to this one, like the Patrick Ta She's Wanted, and now I can add that the Morphe Blush Trio. This one is Wine and Dine, is very similar to this one from House Labs, but I love this blush. Can't believe they got rid of it. But the fact of the matter is, who told them to get rid of it? Okay? Who said it? I need to know. I just want to talk. I have a palette from Glamlight that is one of my favorites that I just wish was still on the website. You unfortunately can't get this anymore, but it is the Scooby-Doo Retro Raggy palette. Look at how beautiful this color story is. I do not have a single palette like this in my collection. This is so beautiful. These tones that were chosen in this palette are perfection. The shimmers, you can just see it in the pan. Like, I don't even need to swatch it. They are so reflective, so beautiful, and so eye-catching. This is definitely one of my most used Glamlight palettes as well. I live for this palette, and I just live for the variation in the mattes as well. I just wish that this was not discontinued. I feel like a lot of the collab palettes would eventually be discontinued, but this one just hurt. The color story is just way too good. The last discontinued product I wanted to talk about was this one from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Healthy Glow Skin Tint. This is a skin tint that is, like, honestly not even a skin tint. Let's just be real here. Though it feels really lightweight on the skin, it looks beautiful on the skin, it builds up beautifully on the skin, it gives coverage. The wear on this is beautiful. It has more of like a healthy glow, no pun intended. It just sucks because this started disappearing off of all the websites. Went off of Sephora, and I think it's off of the Too Faced website as well. I did not know that this was limited edition. Okay, I don't understand it because now I can't purchase backups of this, so I'm using this very sparingly. But the summertime is when I get the most use out of this particular product because it's the perfect summer skin tint. Truly, it really, really is. And I just wish that they didn't get rid of this because it's so good. Now that we've talked about a few discontinued products that I wish brands would bring back, let's talk about products that I wish brands would come out with. This is products that I just wish that these brands would come out with, and the inspiration has been pulled from products that they've released already. The first one being the LYS Cream Blush Sticks. I know that they have like their satin matte formula in the compact, but it's something about the way that these stick blushes just glide and they're easier to use. They blend a lot better for me personally that I love. But all of these are shimmery. They're glowy. Now, I'm not going to say shimmery. They're more glowy, and I would love to see a matte finish with these. I would love more shades. Even though the shade range on this is really beautiful, I just would love to see a matte finish with, you know, in the blush stick formula. I feel like they have such a gem with the stick formula, the skin tint, the bronzer sticks, that I would love to see different variations of different finishes with all of the products. Since we're talking about blushes, this blush formula from IT Cosmetics is one of my favorites, especially in the summertime. You will see me use this blush just about every single day in the summer, and a lot of the tones are more burnt terracotta, more bronzer, blushy kind of tones. And I would love to see more pinks and berries. I just would love to see an expanded shade range. Who do I need to talk to get more shades of this blush? Maybe I need to like DM IT Cosmetics and just put it in the space. You know, that wouldn't hurt. This, hear me out, because I low-key have a feeling that this may be coming. I can't see e.l.f. not doing this. Imagine this foundation, but in a matte finish or a soft matte finish. Just picture it. Imagine it. Can't you see it? Can't you see them coming out with something like that? Because I do feel like e.l.f. does a great job at catering to different skin types. For example, let's take the Power Grip primers. They came out with the green one first, which was, you know, like the normal, the OG, Then they came out with the pink one that had more of like a glowy, dewy finish, more hydration for people who have dry skin. And now we have the matte Power Grip Primer for oily skin. So this ask from me is not too impossible. I low-key feel like I could see it coming in the future, but this formula is just a little bit too glowy for me that I just would love to see a soft matte finish. I hope that we get that. I really do, because if we do, I will be the first in line to buy it. I cannot believe that Urban Decay missed the mark on this one. Like, this was a missed opportunity from Urban Decay. The reason why I'm saying it's a missed opportunity is because they came out with powder blushes that are called the Face Bond blushes, and it's supposed to be a part of this line, so I don't think they would, or could they, come out with Face Bond liquid blushes, put it in this container. I don't think that's too far-fetched. Do y'all think that we could still possibly get liquid versions of these? Because I know they just came out with the powder, but I felt like if they used this formula but blush versions, it would have been a hit. Very viral. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of people talking about the powder blushes. They need to do liquid blushes. They need to. And it needs to be in this formula. It has to be. Now, something from Rare Beauty I would really love to see is this formula of the bouncy blushes, but with bronzers. I think that that would be a really, really, really amazing release. Give us bronzer shades in this formula. I will also be the first to buy because I love this blush formula. This is my favorite release from Rare Beauty to date. Just seeing this with bronzer shades, I would be over the moon. Like, truly, I would be so happy to see it. Now, we have the Halo Glow Pressed Powder from e.l.f. I would love to see this without the glow, but more of a brightening powder. I just would love to see that. I feel like what we're missing from a lot of brands and a lot of drugstore brands in general is pressed powders for brightening. You know, like specifically brightening powders. Lastly, what I would love to see is from Patrick Ta, and I would love to see these without the plumper and with shimmer shades. Now, I know he already has a gloss formula out that's not plumping and it's shimmery. He has not touched that line. I feel like it's been years since we've gotten any new glosses in that particular formula, but maybe I would love to see a revamped version of that formula. I feel like he'd do a great job because I really love this gloss formula, but I do wish that it wasn't plumping. I feel like if it wasn't plumping, I'd reach for these a ton more than what I do now. But that is what I would love to see. I would love to hear your thoughts on everything that I talked about today. If you want a part 2, we definitely can do it. I just wanted to see what y'all thought about, you know, this video and things like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.